What is going on in Vancouver? Just when we thought Evan Gold was the front runner, the Canucks have completely flipped the script. Reports are confirmed, and according to Irfaan Gaffar, Ryan Johnson has been offered the job to lead hockey operations. They've apparently it could be potentially the title is head of hockey operations. And also the Sedins are about to become more powerful than we ever imagined. We need to talk about this chaos right now. Now, we're going to start off by talking about the Ryan Johnson stuff. And just so you guys know, I am recording this on Tuesday night. This is going to come out tomorrow afternoon. So, for all we know, they may make the announcement, but it's never over until the fat lady sings. But let's take a look at this article from our friends at Canucks Army that talks about Ryan Johnson in particular. So this one says, Canucks have offered Ryan Johnson the job to be next head of hockey operations. This one, of course, written by our good buddy Quads. And he says, a big update in the Vancouver Canucks' front office search. According to Canucks Army's own Irfaan Gaffar, the Canucks have offered Ryan Johnson the opportunity to be the next head of hockey operations. Here's the tweet from Irfaan Gaffar at just before 11:30 this morning, as in Tuesday. He's been offered the job to be the next head of hockey ops. Can't see a situation where Johnson is going to turn it down. And of course, he is quote tweeting a Elliotte Friedman tweet from earlier that morning that says, we will see where this goes over the next day or so, but hearing momentum is moving in Ryan Johnson's direction for Vancouver's head of hockey operations. Nothing is done until it's done, but that's the latest. And it basically talks about that Elliotte Friedman tweet. And then also, prior to that tweet, Friedman also talked about Johnson on Sportsnet 590, saying, I'm hearing is that there's momentum going behind Ryan Johnson in Vancouver. I've been hearing a lot about that over the last hour or two. The momentum is getting behind him. We'll see where that takes us over the next few hours, but I'm starting to think that Ryan Johnson has a good shot of being the next head of hockey operations there. Of course, for those of you who don't know who Ryan Johnson is, he spent 2 seasons with the Canucks towards the end of his playing career and rejoined the organization as a development coach in 2013-2014. He worked his way up to assistant director of player development 2 years later. And 2 years after that, he was put in charge of the AHL Utica Comets at the time as GM and became the club's director of player development in 2017-2018. Johnson held those titles over Utica's move to become the Abbotsford Canucks and oversaw a Calder Cup winning Abbotsford roster last season. It's unclear whether or not the Canucks plan to hire Johnson as their next president of hockey operations with a GM working under him, or if Johnson will be the GM. But one thing is for sure, Ryan Johnson will be the man in charge of the Canucks' hockey operations department moving forward if he chooses to accept the offer. And as like what Irfaan Gaffar said, he does not see Ryan Johnson saying no. It will be interesting to see where this leaves Evan Gold, who was rumored to be a finalist for the Canucks' GM job, and the Sedins, who we reported earlier this week, accepted larger roles in the Canucks' front office over the weekend. So that is the latest. Of course, by the time you guys are watching this, Canucks may have already made the announcement. But I wanted to do this. And speaking of the Sedins, because I hinted at the Sedins getting more power, this is what I was referring to. So I'm going to share. It's another article from Canucks Army, and this is coming from Elliotte Friedman himself. So I'm going to share this. He says, Sedins could be above Ryan Johnson in the Canucks' front office. So, and this is written by our good buddy Tyson Cole, also Tuesday. And he says, Vancouver Canucks' search for their new front office leaders is coming to a close. While the organization has not made an official announcement, it appears Johnson will be the new Canucks GM with Daniel and Henrik joining in some capacity. Now, this is what Friedman said to Bob Stauffer on Oilers Now Tuesday evening, as in not that long ago, sharing that the Sedins may be taking on an even larger role than he originally reported. Barring a complete collapse, it's going to be Ryan Johnson with the Sedins. And I'm beginning to think that maybe even though I said the Sedins were going to be taking on a bigger role, I still might have understated it. I just assumed it would be like John Shakeup and Matt Sundin in Toronto, where they're together, but Shakeup has the final say. Not so sure that's going to be the case here. I think it's possible that Sedins could be above Johnson on the food chain. We'll find out for sure. They're taking a much bigger role, but Ryan Johnson was offered the job. And just looking back over the last day, I did have someone who said to me this afternoon that they think Johnson was offered the job over 24 hours ago. So when all this Evan Gold stuff was going on, Johnson was offered the job. I think they've been working through it and how it's all going to work. But I think most of yesterday, he was kind of in position where they knew it was going to be him. After retiring in 2018, the Twins returned to the Canucks organization in 2021 as special assistants to the GM. After 1 year on the job, they transitioned to development coaches and have remained in that role for the previous 4 seasons. With Rutherford stepping down to an alternate governor and advisor role, the president of hockey operations will be vacant as of after the NHL draft. Remains to be seen what title the Sedins role will have, but based on Friedman's reporting, it could be a higher role than general manager. So there's that. I did want to go over some notes when it comes to Ryan Johnson and talking about Evan Gold. Irfaan Gaffar believes that Evan Gold was never offered the job. He doesn't think the Canucks even offered Gold the job, like it didn't get that far. And the reason for that is it may have come down to money. No, so Evan Gold, we know he's a hard negotiator. We've heard that about him. And he may have also wanted to bring in his own staff, the likes of Jamie Langenbrunner. And I forget the other guy's name that he wanted to maybe bring in, but Langenbrunner was mentioned. And it may have come down to money because and this is something that Irfaan Gaffar said too. If he would have brought in Langenbrunner, Irf thinks he likely would have gotten or wanted a hefty raise to come over from Boston. And we all know how Francesco Aquilini operates. He's a cheap ass. So he probably was like, nuh-uh. We got a guy like Ryan Johnson who's already under contract, who's obviously going to get a raise if he gets the job. But maybe, and also there may also be the fact that Gold and his staff didn't align with what the Canucks and maybe what the Sedin twins wanted. So that may have, we don't know exactly what happened, but something happened. And I've even seen, reports on social media that Evan Gold is out. Like he's not in the running anymore. So also another thing, did it come down to the familiarity between the Sedins and RJ? Because they've been working together for a very long time. And there's no familiarity with Gold, because he's a new face. He's coming in. The Sedins don't know him. RJ doesn't know him. Is that a reason too behind it? And of course, all of this whole stuff with Ryan Johnson brings another question that I know a lot of Canucks fans are going to be asking. And they actually talked about this on Canucks Conversation earlier today with Quads, Harmon, and Irfaan Gaffar. If it is in fact RJ, Ryan Johnson, at the helm, does that guarantee that Manny Malhotra will be hired as the coach and Adam Foote gets let go? I want you guys to let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. But that is the latest for the Canucks GM search. I know it's been chaotic, and this is crazy stuff. So as I mentioned earlier, I'm recording this Tuesday night. This is going to come out Wednesday afternoon around like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So we all know they may announce it when either before or after you guys are watching this. So just a heads up on that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and a big shout out and of course thank you to my sponsor, DraftKings Sportsbook, which is of course an official sports betting partner of the NHL. The Stanley Cup playoffs are here, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, has a new customer offer. Bet player props, bet live from the opening faceoff to the final horn, where every moment matters. New DraftKings customers bet just $5 and you get $100 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN so you're ready for the moment. Once again, that is code THPN. Turn $5 into $100 in bonus bets instantly in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MY-RESET. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, wager tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 and over in most states. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. Limited time offer.
Thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, you can, on your way out, you can hit the like button and you can subscribe to The Line Change for more Canucks and as well as draft-related content. You can also become a member of The Line Change to receive exclusive perks and members-only videos, including early access to videos such as like this one. Once again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.